Alright, you guys, welcome back to the channel. We're here for some more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero news, info, and updates. Today we have a major video because we're going to be going over this official interview with the main producer of Sparking Zero himself, Jun Furutani. Of course, this is giving us some more insight of the game. We have talks about gameplay, different battle modes, the development, features, unlockables, characters, transformations, fusions, all that crazy stuff. So without further ado, make sure to drop a like on today's video and turn on post notifications because y'all already know we talk about everything in regards to Sparking Zero. So first and foremost, massive thanks to Ayub for finding this interview. Originally, it's from Dengenki Online, and Ayub also translated everything from Japanese to English, so massive thanks to them for doing that. Let's hop straight into it. So this is the first question. First of all, please tell us how you came to revive the Dragon Ball Sparking series. Answer: I thought that the Sparking series had reached its final form with the Dragon Ball Z Sparking Meteor, also known as Budokai Tenkaichi 3. However, the platform has evolved since then, and other Dragon Ball game series have been released, so it was time to give fresh surprises and excitement as new Dragon Ball battles. And so we embarked on the latest installment in the series for the first time in 17 years. Of course, a big part of Sparking Zero is that they're adding super content, right? We have the Battle of Gods movie, Resurrection of F, the entire Dragon Ball Super anime, and then after that, DBS Broly and Superhero. All that is going to be in Sparking Zero. Of course, Superhero is already confirmed for DLC. Now, as for the Dragon Ball Super manga, that's a different story. Now, it's already been confirmed that we're going to be getting exclusive attacks from the manga. Just take a look at Blue Vegeta, for example. He has a Burst Gamma Flash, and Goku Black has his Bind technique. As for characters, I don't see that being a thing, maybe until they adapt the manga into anime and then potential DLC. I could see that being a thing. But yeah, I'm just glad that the Sparking series, also known as the Budokai Tenkaichi series, is back after 17 whole years. Next question. Is it one of the reasons why Dragon Ball has been loved as content for so long? Answer: of course, that is one of the reasons. Overseas fans can now play Dragon Ball games, so we are making this title with the intention of delivering it to a worldwide audience. Pretty epic. Going off topic real quick, they're also sticking to one name. Again, the Japanese series back in the day was called Sparking, Sparking Neo, and Sparking Meteor. The Western release, or at least over here in the US, it was known as Budokai Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3. Now they're just using one exact name, known as Sparking Zero. So that's pretty cool, if you ask me. Moving forward, are there any changes in the development structure from the previous title? Interesting. People who worked on the previous title are also involved in the development of this title. Spike Chunsoft is still in charge of development, so you can rest assured that the soul of the series has been firmly inherited. In terms of development scale, it is the largest number of characters to participate in the series, so please look forward to it. I mean, 164 characters, yeah, that's just crazy. Of course, Tenkaichi 3 had 161, so only 3 more, and yes, we are counting transformations / fusions. Next question: what is the appeal unique to the Sparking series? The experience of playing as a Dragon Ball character is the most important thing. In order to realize that experience, we have prepared many characters and are particular about effects. Not only about that, but with each transformation, it's like a whole separate character, right? Because we get a new set of moves, supers, and ultimate attacks, just like the anime. So yeah, that's another thing. When you accumulate energy, the surroundings move around, and when you fully charge, rocks break. We believe that the experience of the power of a super warrior can be felt from such things, and we are pursuing that. Even though it's the same fighting game, rather than fighting strictly on equal terms like in Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's designed to focus on Dragon Ball-like action. In that sense, the strong characters in the game are strong, and the weak characters have a hard time. So, something that we brought up, if you play as Hercule, you'll most likely, you can still win the fight, don't get me wrong, but you have to be good at the game. So there's still definitely going to be a skill factor to this. But let's say if you play as Blue Gogeta, then he's going to be, stronger than some of the other characters in the roster. just like the classic Tenkaichi series, because in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was like the most overpowered character. He was extremely fast, he does max damage, and his skill set was just second to none. So I'm glad they're bringing that back. The previous title, Dragon Ball Z Sparking Meteor, had a Z in the title. Why did it disappear from this game? The answer? This time, Super is also included, so this time the Z has been removed. The reason for the title 0 is to make it easier to start from here, as it's the first new work in 17 years. By the way, the Sparking series was released overseas under the title Budokai Tenkaichi, but this work has a unified name. Yeah, as I literally just mentioned, it's Sparking 0 worldwide. Moving forward, we do have a note. Episode Battle and Edit Mode let you experience the original story's what-if versions to your heart's content. Cool. Question, how far will the episode battles branch out? Are there multiple endings? Oh, this is interesting. Rather than branching out countless times, I imagine that in some stages, you can enjoy slightly different developments depending on the results of the battles and your choices. While the story will basically follow the original, I think you'll be able to enjoy some what-if stories. So it's interesting because this time around, the main story and what-if sagas, if you will, are integrated into one, again, known as episode battles. We just have different routes. We can take the original anime routes or take the what-if routes. I'm looking forward to that. Super Saiyan Goku going up against Uzawa Vegeta. I don't know why, but I just really like that one. And that's just what we've seen so far. Imagine like the Majin Buu saga, Super Saiyan 3. What if Gohan transformed to Super Saiyan 3? You know what I'm saying? That could be cool. Next question, in episode battles, you said that you can switch to Goku's point of view in some event scenes, but is it possible for other characters? I mean, I'm assuming so. It's been said that we have 8 different characters, right? The answer, it will only be the perspective of the playable character in that episode battle. If this is Vegeta's episode battle, you can switch to Vegeta's point of view. Yeah, that was a given, so whoever the other 8 characters are, let's say Piccolo for example, then I'm sure we'll get all of Piccolo's point of view, maybe with the special beam cannon this time around, so vice versa. Next question, how dense will the story of the episode battle be? Answer, it won't be that detailed, but I think you'll be able to understand the flow of the story itself. It's a cycle of what happened before the battle being depicted, and then the battle begins. Yeah, so it's not going to be extremely detailed, which is totally fine. If you want to play like the most detailed Dragon Ball story, then go ahead and play Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I recommend that. That's like one of my favorite single-player story games. DBZ Kakarot and Boost Fury, right? For the Game Boy Advance. But yeah, it's not going to be 100% detailed, which is totally fine. You know, Sparking Zero focuses on other features and mechanics, so I mean, we can still understand the story. It says right here, but I think you'll be able to understand the flow of the story itself. Yeah, so that's good on its own. Moving forward, we have edit mode. Question, in edit mode, players can create various stories, but how much freedom can they have? Answer, basically, you can freely arrange lines and characters. There are about 5,000 lines prepared, and you can change the character names in the text to other character names. So the degree of freedom and customization is quite high. What do they mean by lines? Like dialogue? So we have 5,000 like voice lines? Epic. And you can change the character names in the text to other character names. I think this is referring to the character switch-ins. You know how we can swap characters? So instead of Vegeta, we can go ahead and put in Yamcha. I'm assuming that's what this is referring to. Yeah, the customization seems promising. Looking forward to that. Are there any stage gimmicks prepared? Regarding gimmicks such as destruction, they are basically the same as in the battle mode. However, you can set ring outs in some stages. Oh, we got confirmation, 100% confirmation, because we have seen some gameplay, of course, via the Summer Game Fest 2024 demo, and you know, all the other different builds out there. But specifically on the World Tournament stage, we do see the characters fighting on the grass sometime. Just like what a lot of us speculated, it's probably a feature where we can toggle on and off, just like the Raging Blast series. And yeah, once again, we have confirmation right here. You can set ring outs in some stages. So I'm assuming all of the tournament stages, we can go ahead and turn that on. So don't worry, ring outs will be in Sparking Zero. Hey, let's go. Next question, can you get rewards by playing edit mode? There are no particular rewards for battles created by users, but some battles and pre-prepared situations can lead to unlocking elements so you can enjoy them as a replay element. Interesting, interesting. We do have an additional note. It says, besides fusion, Potara also appears. Easy to operate with semi-automatic or automatic controls. It seems that you can have different number of people on your team in battles, but in that case, will there be any adjustments, handicaps to your stamina? There are no plans for that at the moment. In the final version, the limit is 5 versus 5, and you'll be able to organize characters freely within the cost limit. So the adjustments will be made based on that cost. By the way, even if the characters have the same name, their cost will differ depending on the era and transformation stage. So they actually talked a little bit about this in yesterday's showcase. It's called the Dragon Point system. At least I think that's what this abbreviation means. Each character has a Dragon Point cost set, and this time create a character with a Dragon Point limit of 15 points and compete. So the total limit is 15, and this is actually from Tengachi 3 as well. I do remember this being a different game mode. It wasn't necessarily integrated into the 5 versus 5. For Tengachi 3 specifically, we get to pick any character that we want. But it seems like for Sparking Zero, they're kind of integrating the two. So what they just said, the max point system is 15. So let's say, for example, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. We're not sure if GT characters are going to be in the game, but I do have faith. I think they are. But he's probably going to be costing like 5 points, right? So that means we have 10 points left to, you know, choose the other characters. So let's say if you want to pick Blue Gogeta, that's another 5 points, and then Blue Vegito. So that's only 3 characters, but you already maxed out the limit, which is 15. So you only get to play as those 3. But if you want all 5 playable characters, then of course you'll have to sacrifice some of the stronger characters for some of the, you know, low to mid-tier characters, like maybe Hercule, Tien, Yamcha, or even Base Goku. Base Goku, Base Vegeta will probably cost around like 3 Dragon Points. This is nothing but examples, but you know what I mean? So if you can't have like an overpowered team of all blue characters, it's interesting, and I kind of like how they're doing that. This is their way of balancing things out, right? So we can definitely have a team of low-tier warriors like Cybermen, Hercule, which I'm assuming will cost 1 Dragon Point. You know what I'm saying? Which will be cool video topics. Moving forward, it says, will there be ranked matches for online battles? Of course, we are planning to implement them. Literally, like in any fighting game, there's always like a player match and ranked match, right? Next question. I understand that split-screen offline battles are only possible in the Room of Spirit and Time, but can the Room of Spirit and Time be selected as a stage in other modes? It can be selected as a stage in other modes. Cool, cool. Next page. There is a power difference between the characters, but what is the maximum? For example, is it possible for Mr. Hercule to beat Goku? It's not that he can't take damage, so as long as you have the skills, you can win. So again, going back to the Hercule versus Blue Gogeta example, you can still win as Hercule. You just have to be good at the game. You have to know what you're doing. But if someone who doesn't necessarily know how to play the game and they pick Blue Gogeta, then they could, you know, have a chance of defeating you, the more skilled player. But it's very interesting how they're going about this, and I really do like it. I think it's cool how they're trying to balance things out in terms of the anime, you know, power levels, I guess you want to say that. Next question, are there plans to adjust the balance after the release? If the playing environment becomes too difficult, we plan to implement an update. At this stage, we do not know the specific timing, but we would like to create an environment that can be played for a long time, including updates. So yeah, they already confirmed DLCs with the superhero and Dama characters, but in terms of like balance adjustments, I think, yeah, first they just want to see how things turn out. Of course, they're going to be including small updates because they want to support this game for like the longest time. Something similar to Xenoverse 2. What? It's going on its 8th year right now. Yeah, very insane. So yeah, I'm sure there's going to be, you know, like different balance updates here and there, for sure. Of the characters I was able to play this time, Mr. Hercule felt that the controls were quite different. Is he in a special position in the work? Are they talking about like no flying? Hercule is a special character because he cannot use the flying technique. Yep, right there. I think the cost will be relatively low. Of the characters who cannot fly in the original work, such as Master Roshi, are also unable to fly. That's cool, man. I am just interested in the Tournament of Power stage. Well, not necessarily the stage, but like the tournament edition of that stage, right? Is there going to be a no-fly rule or something similar to the ring outs? Can we like turn that on and off? I think they should give us the option to turn off the no-fly ability for the Tournament of Power stage. That would just be so cool. But of course, characters like Master Roshi, Hercule, Sabaman, Frieza Soldier, if he's in the game, they're going to cost the least amount, right? Again, probably like 1 or 2 points. Fusion was possible in the trial play, but are there any gimmicks such as receiving damage or being released over time as in the original work? I don't know why you would receive damage for fusing, but again, all this is an rough English translation, right? So just keep that in mind. Once you transform, including fusion and other transformations, it will not be released by attack or over time. Okay, I get it now. So we've already seen gameplay of the character reverting to their base form. We've seen that many times. But what it's saying is it will not be released by attack or damage. So if you take damage, if you're low health, you won't revert to your base form. The only way to revert to your base form is if you do it yourself, right? Or there's no time limit. So in regards to the fusion, obviously anime accurate, fusion dance, there's a 30-minute time limit to it. Patara earrings, I think there's like a time limit to it now. I don't know, they retconned it a few different times. I don't even know at this point. But there's going to be no time limit for fusions or nothing along those lines. Fusions might be permanent, but again, obviously for transformations, we can revert to our base forms. If there is fusion, which, there's going to be, does it also have Potara? What is the difference with fusion? All right, so we do know that Potara characters are going to be in the game based off of the Fused Warriors trailer. We got Blue Vegito, Gogeta is fusion dance, Merge Zamasu, Kefla, and we've also seen the animation of Kale and Caulifla fusing, right, into Kefla. So yeah, that's already been confirmed. Yeah, he says right there. Of course there is. In terms of the system, it is the same as Fusion. So sounds like Potara and Fusion Dance, they're going to have like the same scale in terms of power-ups. It's relatively the same thing, just different animations, different characters. When selecting the various battle assists as control settings, you can choose between semi-auto and auto. Are there any operations that can be performed in semi-auto and not in auto? Oh, is this referring to like auto combos and stuff, like in fighters? Interesting. Basically, there's no difference in what you can do, but it's just that the number of operations that the player can intervene in increases. The more auto settings you add, the more fun you can have, even for novices. We've made it so that you can perform Dragon Ball-like movements even with just rapid taps, so you can change it to your liking according to your skill in action games. Yeah, so I think this is referring to like, a traditional setting or modern setting. I think, yeah, I have been watching some of the content creators' gameplay, and a lot of them said that there's different control settings, a modern and classic. So I'm not sure if that's what semi-auto and auto are referring to, but I'm just assuming at this point. Moving forward, does the damage change between semi-auto and auto as in recent fighting games? That's not the case, so you can just set it to whatever is easy to operate. By the way, the auto setting is also possible in online battles. What is the advantage of using manual mode? Oh, so this is the manual mode I was just talking about. Again, there's like manual mode and classic mode. So semi-auto and auto, yeah, that must be like the different combos. Anyway, the advantage is that you can counter by pressing the button at the right time, and you can adjust the timing as you like. For advanced players, there are also tactics such as deliberately taking a break during a combo to shift the timing of the enemy's counterattack. So if you want to pursue action, we recommend choosing manual. All right, so, if you're a bit more skilled, then, just play manually. Yeah, there's that. I'm not really a pro player, so take that for what you will. What kind of strategies have been created by the new skill stock feature? All right, so we already know a little bit about this. There's the skill perception, the combo break feature. Skill stock is the blast stock. Yeah, blast stock, that's what it was called in Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3. In addition to the skills and other actions from the previous games, an action called super identification is now possible, which allows you to deflect your opponent's blast, such as Kamehameha. Alright, so again, this is a rough English translation, so it's officially called skill perception, super perception, something along those lines. It does the same thing. It deflects the incoming energy wave. A counter action called Revenge Counter has also been added, which allows you to counter even when you are under attack. Again, something similar to a combo break. It's important to think about how you move around with your skill stock. And conversely, when your opponent has a lot of skill stock, how you move around anticipating a counterattack. Yeah, so we definitely have to be aware on the opponent's, key bar, skill count, stuff like that, because they can definitely utilize a counter attack for sure. So one of your tactics is to make your opponent use up their skill count. Yeah, very interesting to think about. That's right. There's no way to intentionally reduce your skill count, but you can induce it depending on how you fight, such as by countering to attack and forcing them to use revenge counter. So basically just be aggressive. If they don't want to take the damage, then most likely they'll go ahead and use the revenge counter, obviously utilizing their skill count, so that's good for you. If your skill stock runs out, it's a chance to attack, so I recommend attacking all at once. So as soon as they reach 0, then that's when you do max damage, right? Your emphatic combo string that you practice in the lab, following with a super attack or maybe even ultimate attack, that's your chance to do intense damage. Next question, by the way, are there any techniques that can't be countered with counter-type actions? Ooh, there are quite a lot of techniques that can't be countered with Ultimate Blast. It's a big technique that comes after you saved up all of your energy. Yeah, that makes sense. So the Sparking Ultimate move, what they just said, it seems like not every single Ultimate Blast can be countered. So I'm just speculating over here, but I feel like Final Explosion, Majin Vegeta Super Saiyan 2, I feel like that attack cannot be countered. Just because it's like an AoE, or I don't know. Will there be an opportunity for users to play this game before the release? Oh yeah, we kind of went over this question before. I can't give you any details yet, but I would like to provide as many opportunities as possible for you to play it. So definitely within events, of course, there's the upcoming Bandai Namco Summer Showcase at Anime Expo. There's going to be a playable Sparking Zero demo over there. So yeah, definitely expect Sparking Zero at events like that one. However, for people at home like myself, I definitely would like to see a demo, or most likely beta sessions or open beta sessions, whatever you want to call them, closed sessions. I would like to see any of that just because I want to play the game already. So here we have the final questions for this specific interview. We do have more interviews to go over. Regarding the progress of development, are you already in the stage of balancing? It's not yet in the final stage, but we are adjusting the balance. Oh, interesting. What? The game drops in 4 more months. They're not in the final stage yet? Hey, don't worry. They know what they're doing. Just leave it up to them. Finally, please give us a message. We will do our utmost to make it possible for you to enjoy the experience of becoming a Dragon Ball character. Again, that's like their main focus. Becoming a Dragon Ball character. It will take some time until the release, but we hope you will look forward to it. We plan to release more information about the characters in the future, so please look forward to that as well. Again, character trailers, that's still going to be a thing. For this month, I don't think we got any of that because we got the release date announcement trailer, the game mode showcase trailer, and a bunch of more information and gameplay from different content creators. So yeah, stay tuned for all of that. Now, moving forward to like what I just said, we have several interviews, but we're just going to be going over the questions and answers that were not in the previous interview that we just went over. So all of these questions and answers are coming from Games Radar, Multiplayer, Games Chosen, RuleWeb, and Game Work. There's like a bunch of different interviews. So as for the questions that we haven't gone over, again, thanks to Ayub for making this a lot easier. The number of characters revealed at the moment is still not enough. So let's see what this says. If you look at the release character trailers, there are a lot of empty slots at the end, and characters are being added there. There are still empty spaces, but does that number add up to the total number of playable characters? As for the answer, the only thing I can say is to wait for further news about the characters, but I feel like the number of characters being revealed at the moment is still not enough. So even Jun Furutani himself thinks 164 characters is not enough for the base roster. Of course, DLC, again, already confirmed, superhero and diamond characters, but I'm not sure if this is referring to that or just specifically about the base roster. But for right now, I'm just going to assume that 164 is the max. If they decide to go even further beyond, then hey, that will be great. That will be great. Next, we have unlockable characters confirmed on Sparking Zero. How does progression happen in the game? How do you unlock characters and items? Especially through the two largest game modes, Episode and Custom Battle, but also through online challenges and all the local battles, it will be possible to accumulate points and to spend to unlock characters and objects. So it seems like that's how we get points, through the Episode, Custom, and local battles, and then we use those points to unlock characters, items, and objects, all the crazy stuff. So this was kind of teased already, thanks to the pre-order bonus. It says right here, if we pre-order the game, we'll be able to unlock Gogeta Base, Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan Blue DBS variation, as well as DBS Wrathful Broly, Super Saiyan and Full Power Super Saiyan early. We unlock these 6 characters early, so this technically implies if we don't pre-order the game, then we have to unlock them normally through the game. Again, going back to this question and answer, we get points through the battles, and then we just purchase them. So that's cool. Something similar to the classic series where we have to play the game to unlock the characters. We don't have the characters unlocked automatically. That's something I really appreciate. Oh, this is an important one. I know a lot of people were looking forward to this, but unfortunately, no rollback netcode in Sparking Zero. Is there something like ranked matches in online competitions? We already got confirmation. Yes, there's going to be ranked matches. Also, is rollback implemented in the netcode? As for rollback netcode, this game does not have it. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I know. But to be fair, the game hasn't dropped just yet, so the netcode itself normally could be great. We did get the showcase yesterday of Kazunoko and Shaka, doing this 1v1 online battle, and it seemed very responsive. So I feel like we have to give it a shot first. I think this might be, a pretty solid netcode if you ask me. But of course, rollback would, be a great addition. Don't get me wrong. Oh, this is another big one that a lot of people were looking forward to. Unfortunately, no other platforms for Sparking Zero. So it's just going to be the big 3. We know that this game will be released on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. However, many in the community are curious whether Sparking Zero will be released on Nintendo Switch or Switch 2 in the future. Does the team have any thoughts or plans regarding this? He said, we are only considering those 3 platforms. Very unfortunate for all the Nintendo Switch players. I know. I mean, at least it would be cool if they decide to include this later down the line for Switch 2. But for the current gen, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC, I think that's my personal opinion. I think that's great because now Sparking Zero is going to be running at its max capacity. So that's why I really do like that idea. So here we have the homie PS360, showing a video clip of the classic Budokai/Tenkaichi games of the world being destroyed after a character using an ultimate attack, right? One thing Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is missing is planet view explosions. It makes you feel like your battles are that powerful. And again, thanks to you for sharing. Jun Furutani replied to this question in this interview. And it says, recently, Dragon Ball games destroy planets as a finishing touch, but it doesn't seem to have happened in the trial version of Sparking Zero. Will there be a finishing effect? Jun said, some characters show different effects when finished with the ultimate blast. So he doesn't necessarily confirm the planet view explosion, but that's definitely good enough for me. I mean, we already know we have stage destruction, like Vegeta Final Flash, how he missed the opponent on Planet Namek and just completely obliterated the stage. Yeah, so there's that. But as for ultimate blast finishers, yeah, it seems like we're going to be getting some. So that's cool. Next, Shenron is officially announced for Sparking Zero. In short, more or less like in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, will the Dragon Ball mechanics also return? Yes, all the imagery around Dragon Balls and the idea of collecting them to make a wish will return to Sparking Zero 2. So that's great. I mean, this was technically confirmed a while back because if we get the Season Pass, we'll get the Season Pass bonus, which, you know, summons Shenron. So it's always cool to get double confirmation though. No minigames for Sparking Zero. I kind of knew this was going to happen, actually. I even mentioned this in a couple videos back because obviously technology enhances, and PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series, since it's exclusive to these consoles only and PC, you know, loading times are basically non-existent. So I do understand that they're not going to be including the minigames. The reason why they had it back in the day, because it took 10 years to load into the fight. I mean, we even saw from the demo, after you choose your character team, the transition to gameplay, it's like, what? Like, so cool. That's the power of technology, man. But anyway, it says in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, there were micro games in loading where you had to quickly press a button, a kind of pastime while waiting for the loading to finish. There's something like that in Sparking Zero 2? Question mark? In Budokai Tenkaichi 3, the technology led to long loading times, so that's why it was included, but we're in 2024. Yeah, see, don't worry, I get the nostalgia feature of it as well. I get it, but 2024, come on, guys. PlayStation 5. And since many of those limitations are no longer there, we didn't put so much effort into extras of that type. In a similar interview, I found more information. Cool. So here we have talks about the development. When did the actual development take place? The late Akira Toriyama is famous for supervising Dragon Ball works and providing characters. Did Toriyama participate in that aspect during the development of this work? Jun said, if you think about it from the planning stage, it takes about 4 years. I think it would be difficult to answer whether or not Mr. Toriyama would participate. And that's it for the different interviews. Again, massive thanks to you for translating, and just massive thanks to all the original hosts within each interview, and Jun Furutani for taking the time to answer a lot of the questions for the community. Very epic stuff. Sparking Zero is going to be great. Y'all already know. Comment down below if you guys learned anything new. I would greatly appreciate that. And again, thank you guys for the immense support on the Sparking Zero videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!